They're not rioting the streets, they're not burning down businesses, they're praying, and they're singing worship songs.
So I've been tracking how some of the Antifa groups have responded to the assassination. You can expect no surprise, they celebrated. But then I read there was an after-action report that was written by a group, an Antifa group in Oregon, and they are actually a bit fearful now in that they did not expect that there would be this unifying reaction from the right. They did not expect, for example, that many people who expressed open support for the assassination ended up being fired, being chastised. Jimmy Kimmel getting his show indefinitely suspended, things like that. They weren't expecting this. They thought, like after the attempted assassinations on President Trump, all these people celebrated, nothing happened to them. Life just went on like another day. But something has changed, and they notice it, and they're a bit afraid, actually. They mentioned that previously inactive conservatives are now becoming politically conscious. And they are saying, we need to come up with ways to sabotage what's happening, because this is catastrophic for us. Antifa can only really have power when there's a culture that accepts and tolerates their dehumanization of the other and their calls for violence. And for years, that has been the culture on the left in liberal cities in particular. And they have support from Democrat politicians and district attorneys and judges and all that. But something's changing. And so I hope that the American right, which is diverse and does have different beliefs that causes divisions right now, that can be minimized as much as possible to really sort of move forward. Because actually that after action report says divide and conquer, exploit the divisions that are existing on there to drive a wedge between different factions of the right. That's what they're saying to do.
Chagas disease is on the rise. A rare bug is spreading a serious parasite, and most people don't even realize they've been bitten. Long thought to be a distant problem, cases of Chagas disease have now been detected in several U.S. states, including California, Texas, Arizona, Louisiana, and Florida. The early signs can seem mild, but over time the disease can cause severe heart damage, digestive dysfunction, and even death. The good news is that the wellness company offers a parasite cleanse compounded with ivermectin and mebendazole. Ivermectin works by paralyzing and killing parasites through disrupting their nervous systems, while mebendazole starves them by blocking glucose absorption. Together, this potent combination provides broad-spectrum defense against both intestinal and tissue parasites. Each kit is doctor-prescribed, compounded in the United States, tested for potency, and represents the gold standard in parasite defense. Simply fill out a quick intake form and you'll receive a bottle of 90 capsules shipped directly to your door. Head on over to twc.health/Rubin and use code Rubin to save $90 off plus free shipping. Yeah, and you can feel that there's an effort to do that, and I think I actually don't want to get too far into it on this show because I've tried to basically avoid it for this week because I didn't think it was appropriate to dive into all of the fights. But it's going to be our job to keep this, let's say, loosely held group together amidst this tragedy. But there's some good signs. Listen to this from Benny Johnson. Turning Point USA is the fastest growing political organization in the entire world. Turning Point has received over 54,000 new chapter requests nationwide. Charlie Kirk's life goal was 20,000 chapters. It's more than doubled now. They tried to silence Charlie. They only made his movement unstoppable. This is Turning Point, and let me throw to a video. This is Charlie's longtime friend and executive producer, Andrew Colvett, talking about how happy Charlie would be. I have no doubt Charlie is watching us from up above and seeing the results of what has happened here.
I think he would be blown away, and he would be so happy. They're not rioting the streets, they're not burning down businesses, they're praying, and they're singing worship songs. And they are filling up church pews. And that's beautiful. And I think he'd be really honored by that.
Well, that's it, right, Isabel? I mean, that's the thing that we have to take forward, as tricky as it might be, as we all get lost in whatever the political fights of today are and whatever they'll be next week. I mean, that really is the part that is eternal that we got to keep moving with, right?
It's really been sitting with me, Dave, the last few days. Andrew tweeted something along this regard, too, but Charlie didn't set out to have a revival of soul or a religious revival or even just searching for God, period, when he founded Turning Point USA. At least he never shared that with those of us who have known him and the organization for so long. My experience with Turning Point many, many years ago was that there were 3 key pillars, and that's all we really talk about, and that's what's going to unify all of our society. And it's limited government, free speech, and free markets. And if we can focus on those 3 pillars, we're going to bring over so many classical liberals. We're going to bring over people disenfranchised by the left. That was certainly your experience, Dave. But it's been astounding, really, in the last week or so to see that that's not really been the response from the whole world, from an entire generation of people that instead are messaging me, and I know you and Andy probably as well, by the thousands upon thousands. I just prayed for the first time today. I just purchased my first Bible today. I went to church for the first time last Sunday. You're watching hymns of amazing grace be sung by the tens of thousands on college campuses at candlelight vigils. You're just watching this soul reform and soul movement sweep across the nation and the world. I'm getting videos from, no pun intended, Seoul, South Korea, from South Africa, from London, from Spain, all over South America. I've heard from people in Malaysia and Nepal that they are praying for Charlie in their communities out loud. And this concept of the grassroots response to this, of we are Charlie Kirk, I think has been so moving to those of us who have been associated with Turning Point USA for so long and who have been fighting with Charlie on the political front, which can be very exhausting, as you both know. It's a very thankless job. It can feel like you're just swimming upstream, fighting for your life over and over again. I don't know if Charlie ever could have predicted that his greatest legacy and the greatest impact he would make on an entire generation was not to re-elect Donald Trump to the White House or to protect freedom of speech or preserve limited government and liberty from a political perspective, but to let people seek the source of liberty, which is God.